Hello everyone. For those who don't know me, I'm Kat. I'm a wife, a homeschool mom, and an avid reader. I am getting over a cold right now, and so my vlogging kind of disappeared last week. I don't think I recorded once since I started coming under the weather on the morning of the 10th. So it's kind of, you missed a whole book. I did read The 13th Child by Erin A. Craig. Yes, Erin A. Craig, the author also of House of Salt and Sorrows. I loved this. This is actually one that's coming out for release this month. I think it might even be out by the time that this video comes out. My phone is not responding. There it goes. Okay. 13th Child. Alright, so it's actually will come out the Tuesday, hopefully after this blog goes live. In this, we have Hazel, and she is the 13th child born to her family. And yes, all 13 children are living. I wasn't sure if it was just like that they had lost children, but no, she has 12 older brothers and sisters. Has a really close relationship with her brother, who's the 12th child for this family, Birdie. But in this world, the 13th child is given over to the gods. And they're bestowed with a gift, and they live their life in service to whatever god bestows their favor upon them. So this mom and dad are basically laying in bed freaking out because here they have a 13th child. They are lowly farmers, so feeding 15 mouths is a lot, and they're debating on if they should just take this baby girl and drop her off somewhere. In hopes that either someone else will find her and raise her as their own. They aren't sure if this will change her future or not. And they're completely okay leaving her in the woods somewhere and letting a wild animal take her. But then the gods step in. We have the Holy First comes first and promises that their daughter will be well cared for, and they say no. Then the divided ones come in and offer to raise their daughter with all the fame and fortune that can be, and the father in this one is the one who kind of chimes up, and he tells the gods no, because fame is fickle and so are riches, and he doesn't trust them not to turn around and remove their favor from his daughter. And then comes the dreaded end. And the dreaded end is the god of death. And this family this husband and wife kind of act like I don't want to say act, because they really were trying to deny or turn down this God's favor, and he basically talks them into it, telling them that she will be cared for, everything, and the family gives in and gives the dreaded end their 13th child. He tells them he will be back after she is born, because this is right after they find out that they have conceived the 13th. And then we follow the story, and this family have this 13th daughter. They name her Hazel, and they raise Hazel. And, we see Hazel at her 8th birthday, and the dreaded end has not come to collect her. And all of this is going on, and her family are really mistreating her. But on her 8th birthday, Bertie, her older brother, remembers it's her birthday, and he tells her happy birthday. And then the priests of the divided end come, and they line up the children, and they they try to take Hazel. Her mother steps in and says no, she's already claimed by the dreaded end, and so instead they take Bertie. And so Hazel is now left without her favorite brother, the only one who really seems to see her in all that is going on in her life. Time goes on, and she hits her 12th birthday, and the dreaded end does finally come for her. And he takes her to this in-between world that he separates her from everything so that she can learn all about being a healer. And he informs her that her gift will be healing, and that she will become a great healer and even be at the behest of a king. There's more that goes into this, but all of that is really the setup for this book. It does take about a third of the book just to get to where we start seeing things turn around for Hazel, and she starts feeling the blessings that come. But it's not all blessings. Not only does she have this amazing gift that tells her exactly how to heal, but it also reveals to her when she is not able to heal, and that it is time to ease the patient's suffering and let them pass on into the next world. This story is amazingly written. While I was sick last week, I spent several days in kind of these fever dreams almost, where I'd go to bed really early, wake up in the middle of the night, read some, and then go back to sleep. And I really loved how Aaron Craig's world just really captivated me in a way that wove itself into my dreams. It was really like my imagination did really great with piecing together the in-between and imagining how all of these plants and everything that Merrick gifts Hazel with work. And just, it's so well described that my brain was able to just, even in my sleep, push this story together and make it come very real to me. So, I have another book down. That puts me, I didn't put it in my last one, but that puts me at 2 books. I'm sorry, 3 books done for September. I have done The Midnight Feast. I have done The Forest Where the Phoenix Sleeps. Those are already out on last week's vlog. And then now I have finished this one. I feel like I'm really far behind for where I should be, just because we are at the middle of the month. The Midnight Feast I had for my animal studies. And then I have Where the Phoenix Sleeps. This one could do for 3 different prompts if I spend the points, which is part of the reason why I went ahead and read it first, because I knew that there was a possibility that I was not going to get 12 books read this month. And then 13th Child is for restoration. So I've got at least 3 done. What did I put that one for in restoration? Oh, that was the poisonous plants on the cover. So I've got 2 of my restoration prompts done. And so I need to pick another book. So I am going to figure out exactly what prompts I have finished, which prompts are going, or which book will best fulfill as many prompts as I can that is already released. And I will let you know what I'm reading in just a moment. Alright, so I have, let me move over here to my computer. I have finished my qualified in restoration, my qualified and distinguished in animal studies, and I am going to move to my qualified for shape-shifting. This one is The Last Girl on Earth, and this one we have Lee, and it says she has a father and sister who love her, a best friend to share things with. She goes to school and hangs out at the beach and carefully follows all the rules she has to. In this, we have aliens have taken over Earth and wiped out all of the humans except for Lee. And Lee's father took pity on her when she was a baby and raises her as his own in hiding. So she is going to try to live under the radar, as it were, and then she's going to meet Ren, and she's going to get swept up in a romance with him. This is a sci-fi romance, and it's young adult, so I know that the spice is going to be pretty low on this one, and I am completely okay with that. I am listening to this one on audiobook, so I'm gonna get that started, and I will check in when I'm about a third of the way through. Hello everyone, so it is Saturday night. None of us are really feeling 100%, and so I have decided I'm gonna curl up in bed and I'm gonna just make it a little bit of a cozy night I've got my jammies on. I've got my water. I've got my Kindle. I've got my audiobook. So I'm just gonna curl up here in bed for a bit and read in bed under my fun fairy lights and just have a calm, relaxing evening and hopefully wake up tomorrow feeling 100% better. But I will check in shortly. Alright, so I'm not quite sure if I call last night's cozy night a success or not. As far as reading went, it probably was not as successful. I was following along in my Kindle along with listening to the audiobook, and I fell asleep. So according to alright, well, according to my audiobook, I'm only 32% in, but according to, oh no, okay, there it goes, it updated. I listened / slept through an extra 20% of the book. My Kindle says I'm 38%, and the audiobook says I'm 56%. So, I'm gonna have to rewind that audio some and try to figure out what all I slept through, and then re-listen to some of it. But I'm gonna just kind of enjoy the day. It's kind of gloomy outside, so definite reading weather that I'm looking forward to. And I will check in shortly when I get everything set back up. Okay, so I actually went back a couple chapters from where I was at. I went back to the beginning of chapter 6 because I wasn't really recognizing a lot of what was happening. So I think I dozed off more often than I realized. But the last girl on Earth, we have Lee. She has been raised by aliens on Earth. Well, she was raised by them off Earth at first, and then they returned to Earth. This group of aliens came to Earth originally with the hope of teaching humans how to better take care of the Earth. And then after years of integrating with them and learning about them, wars keep happening, and they decide that humans are not redeemable. And so their people leave and set off a bomb on Earth that wipes out most of the life on Earth. There are a few who don't die right away, but are definitely dealing with radiation, poisoning, and everything else. It's just a matter of time. Well, the aliens return and start building life here, but they also use these remaining humans to build basically vaccines, things that will help their people to better live the world. Well, through all of this, one of these integration teams, a husband and wife, are kind of against the wiping out of the human race. And so they adopt a human girl and they raise her as their own. They give her fake characteristics that are like gills, are one of the main things. They give her fake gills behind her ears so that she can blend in with everyone. Well, part of this blending in means that she has to act like everyone else. She has to follow all the rules. So here we are, years later. The wife has passed away. She actually died of radiation poisoning when they returned to Earth. And this father is left raising this human girl alongside his daughter. And he does everything a father can to protect both his daughters. He gets Lee up and trains her extra from the time she is very young, because there are some stamina, endurance, strength differences between humans and these aliens. Well, we are at the point where Lee, the human girl, is about to enter into basically their adulthood. And part of that means that they go off on conscription. For 7 years, everyone serves in the military and goes to other worlds and helps out. So she is in training for this, and they're working on finding out where to place her. In the midst of all this, she meets a newcomer named Rin, and Rin seems to like Lee, and Lee likes him back. And so I'm sure that this is going to play a role in this book and kind of create its own plot points in here and try to derail her. I have my suspicions about Rin. I'm not quite so sure that he is an alien. There have just been a few things that have popped up that make me wonder, but I think he at least knows that Lee is hiding something, and he is determined to get to know her better. So we are at this point, and training is really about to kick up, or the assessments are about to kick off, and Lee has competition. She scored one of the highest scores of everyone, but she tied with another person, and so she and this person are kind of at odds over who is going to become the officer. And that's kind of her big goal, is to become an officer. So I'm going to get back to reading, and I'm going to see how things go from here. So far, I am enjoying the writing. Everything is moving very quickly. This is definitely a YA novel. It's very plot heavy, and the writing is such that I'm really able to kind of blow through this book. So I'm going to get back to listening and hopefully finish this book today before I have to turn my attention toward work tomorrow. Alright, so one thing I kind of forgot about with reading YA is that I really, really get sucked into them and don't want to put them down. Especially the really good ones. I just finished The Last Girl on Earth. I basically curled up here in my recliner, put my headphones in, and just read for the last 5 hours. As I said, I did have to rewind it a little bit to about 29%. So I listened to 71% today. It is only a 6-hour book, so it's not like super crazy. But I really, really had a good time with it. It really, by the end, gives me the Giver vibes. Yeah, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. Not explain that. You'll have to read the book to understand. Really enjoyed it. The writing is really well done. This is the author's debut novel, and she has not written any others. The author is Alexandra Blogier. Really well written, though, and I had a great time with it. This is one that I could really see lasting beyond beyond just this generation. Like I said, it really gives me Giver vibes, and I just really, really enjoyed this one. I think I'm going to give it 4.5 stars. And that's more a me thing. YA novels just are... I'm not in that... I'm not in that... I'm not the target audience, I guess, is really what I'm trying to say. This is one of the few that I've read lately that it didn't matter. There's a little bit of the high school-esque romance. And I think that's really where I kind of... I don't want to say struggle with it, but it's what I don't enjoy as much anymore. The happily ever after, without any real hiccups. Not that I like the third act breakups that come in many romance novels, but they have to navigate real life difficulties, not the high school-y type stuff. So overall, really enjoyed it. The writing is well done. It does captivate me, or did captivate me from the very beginning, and I had so much fun listening to this book. I did do it mainly on audio. I had my Kindle to follow along, partly last night, so that if I fell asleep, I kind of had a easy backup point too. But the audiobook is well narrated, but I think you would enjoy this one still in just print. So that is that for The Last Girl on Earth. yeah, things may not have gone exactly as I thought they would, but it was a sweet one. The next book I'm going to read is Family of Liars. This is the prequel to The Lies We Told. I think that's what it is. Trying to pull it up. Oh, I'm sorry. This one is Family of Liars. We Were Liars. It's the prequel for We Were Liars. I really enjoyed We Were Liars. I did not like Genuine Fraud by this author. And that has been all I've read. By them. Most of their other stuff just really hasn't shouted out to me. So I am going to give this one a shot. This one, again, is another YA, so we'll see how it goes. It's only 298 pages, so hopefully I can kind of blow through this and get another book read and feel like I'm accomplishing something toward my Orilium readathon, because we are at the 16th? 15th. Today's the 15th. We are at the 15th, and I have now finished my 4th book. And there are a few that I really need to make sure that I get for this. So I am going to get back to reading, and I will check in with you soon. Alright, so I am a third of the way through Family of Liars. And in this one, we are following Aunt Carrie. She is telling a story to Johnny. He asks her, what was the worst thing she and her sisters did. And so she tells him the story about the summer that she sees a ghost and everything that goes on that summer. So in this, we have teenage Carrie, and she, through events, meets a college boy. A college boy, and right now there's just a lot of flirting going on. I'm assuming that some sort of relationship is going to occur, and that things are going to spin out of control in some way. The island is Grandpa Harris's island, but there's a few things that just, I don't know if it's because so much time has passed or what, but the houses have different names when Bess, Carrie, and Penny are teenagers than they do when we have their children's story. So I am going to keep going in this. I'm enjoying the writing style in this better than I did Genuine Fraud. Oh, sorry. Better than Genuine Fraud. And it's reminding me a lot of what I loved so much with We Were Liars. So I'm going to keep going in this for a little bit, probably another 30 minutes, and then I'm going to go to bed and continue tomorrow. So I will probably check in with you guys tomorrow. Alright, so I have finished We Were Liars by E. Lockhart. I went to bed last night with a little bit of a headache and tension in my shoulder. And then woke up early in the morning, like at 2 or 3, and couldn't go back to sleep. So I read a little bit while I was waiting for pain reliever to kick in, and I knocked out a huge chunk of the book. So then this morning when I got up, I was a little bit rushed because I had a dentist appointment this morning and had to be there at 9. So I didn't really have time to update this morning. And then the dentist took forever. And I mean, it wasn't their fault. They were just busy. But because of that, I nearly finished the book at the dentist's office, and then we immediately had the dog going to the eye doctor, and so I finished the book there. And I think I'm going to give this book a 3.5 star. I was very intrigued throughout the novel. The writing is, it's definite YA writing. My big kind of dislike of it, and maybe this is because it's been years since I read We Were Liars, which is the first one to read, and then you read the prequel, Family of Liars. When it may have just been too long between the two, but I felt that there were moments when the author would kind of, especially toward the end, kind of do recaps of Carrie's life from the summer that she's telling her son about to more present day. So there are these like catch-up moments, but they don't all happen at once. It's like you'll get one character and their kind of catch-up when they leave the island, I guess, is really when you see that for the last time that summer. And then you come back, or you rewind time back to present day, or to that summer. So you kind of have this summer, then here's where they're at now, and then we go back to the summer and finish off with everyone else on the island. And it did that several times, and it just really ruined the mood for me. And so I wasn't exactly happy with that. There were some big turns of event. A few that I kind of thought that the book was going that way, and a few that surprised me a little bit. It's a really interesting story overall, and it was nice to see the moms as teenagers. and then to kind of understand how things ended up the way that they did. But again, there were those moments that took me out that I didn't really enjoy. So, I have noticed a trend with my personal reading, and that is the first half of the month is teeth-pullingly slow as far as getting books read, and then I'll have a weekend where it's just boom, 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 and I read a whole bunch. And that's kind of what happened here. That puts me at 5 books finished now. I have The Midnight Feast, Midnight Feast, The Forest Where the Phoenix Sleeps, Forest Where the Phoenix Sleeps. Which one did I just listen to on audio? Yeah, I'm gonna have to go look at my chart because my brain has fully forgotten what I have read so far this month. So I will do a quick little recap in just a moment, and then I will sign off. So give me just a second and I'll tell you what I've read so far. Alright, so the titles I have read so far, I started with The Midnight Feast, moved to Forest Where the Phoenix Sleeps, then did The 13th Child, The Last Girl on Earth, and now just did Family of Liars. So I feel that I might be okay if I can keep this pace up of finishing 3 books a week. But we'll see how the end of the month goes. Until next time, bye.